Hello, everyone! And now it's already June the 1st. And we still haven't seen episode 79 we were promised for, which is pretty surprising to me given how Boom literally swore several times in a row already that this episode will definitely come out in May. And even though he stated that he decided to add one more scene which will last around 1 minute into his final production, which would definitely slow the release of the promised episode, it is still not clear to me what would have caused Boom another delay. Because let's be real, this is definitely not the first release delay in his career. So I want to talk about this today. Okay, and while all of us are in the waiting mode once again, I also decided to prepare some other interesting topics for y'all to talk about, so that you wouldn't pass out of boredom in the next couple of days. What's happening to Titan Cameraman in the meantime, while the Alliance is getting all sorts of upgrades and prepares to fight the craziest ISOTOILET species? And why his return might not be a good thing for the Alliance at all, but something completely the opposite. So if you want to get the answers to these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready. Prepare to watch this video to the end, and be sure to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel where I make a lot of skibidi toilet analyzing content. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. So let's start with the hottest topic first. May has already passed its final days, but we still haven't seen the actual episode. To tell you even more, both Stake and IBO75 also stated no new information about this in their recent live streams, even though they are the closest to Boom now who can find out something fresh regarding the episodes and their releases. And in both times when Boom was actually updating us about episode 75 release date, he was doing so via IBO75 in his streams, but right now the whole world turned to be silent. Why so, and what could have possibly caused this delay? Well, I have my own opinion regarding this situation, given that it's not the first time I have to talk about Boom's delays on this channel. In fact, if you'll check how many delay analyzing videos I've had to make by this point, then you'll completely understand why I am not even surprised at this one. Yeah, I know, lots of you guys have been really waiting for May release in specifics, because it would mean that Boom finally went back on track with his video's releasing schedule. But personally, I already started noticing something sketchy when he became more silent with his updates at first, and then revealed that he'll have to spend more time on this episode's production due to at least one more scene he had to add. And after that, he went silent again. So is it really surprising that no episode is in sight now, even though May has officially ended? Okay, but don't be too quick in judging Boom while all sorts of comments are banging at his door with knives and pitchforks. And just listen to what I'll have to say here. All in all, but every episode's production is an incredibly tedious process that involves a lot of aspects regarding its making, especially when the creator wants it to turn out to be excellent. And let's not also forget that the Skibidi Toilet series has evolved into a full-blown movie production quality at this point. So our expectations are incredibly high, and Boom knows it. And with every new episode, Boom is raising the bar even higher with the quality of his editing, transitions, video effects, lore development, and all those mind-blowing plot twists that we rarely see coming. So naturally, when he adds even just 1 minute of footage, it's not like he's pasting a meme or looping a dancing toilet. Nah, he has to do much more work than just that, so I'll give him that. Okay, but could this one delay be more significant than the other ones we survived through? In previous cases, when Boom went silent, it usually signaled that he was either struggling with a particularly complicated scene or had to deal with copyright issues coming from the frauds that used to complicate his work process some time ago. But now I feel like he must have been spending more time developing the new direction for the plot, because episode 78 gave us so much to process, from the Speakerman's Race grand comeback to the sneaky teasers about how someone really important might die. So there's a good chance that Boom works on something huge currently, and that could be the reason for him to delay the release of this episode. Okay, and now let's talk about something more promising, because there are actually other types of news I want to share with you guys today. Because as it turns out, we have some kind of anniversary recently, and it's connected to Titan Cameraman. The thing is, it's already been 1 year since the last time he ever appeared on our screens, and yeah, you heard me right. 1 year ago, episode 74 had come out, and we haven't heard anything of our Blue Lens Chad since. And to say that I did miss him every single day of my life would be an understatement, actually. If you are an old-school fan of my channel, then you know for sure that Titan Cameraman used to be one of my forever favorite characters. And when it was hinted how he could die in episode 74 ending, I was pretty freaking heartbroken. But you know what? Now when this anniversary took place, it is a perfect time to suggest the most interesting theories about how Titan Cameraman could have actually survived. And besides, Boom himself was hinting how the cameraman is not dead actually for a countless number of times. And literally all he has to do now is just to bring this Chad of a Titan back. But how he can actually come back to us though, and let's start with the most cinematic possibility first. After saving the Alliance's base from the Astro Fleet's planned raid, Titan Cameraman might have been received some severe injuries and then flung deep into unknown area either by his own will or by accident. In any case, he could have been pursuing one goal here, and it's to get as far away from his enemies as possible in order to treat his wounds and to come back under his allies' radar somehow. But obviously that would be really difficult to do, because at the time of episode 74 events, the whole Alliance was weakened as hell, and Astro's force seemed to be almost unbeatable. The Speakerman's race was still deep into the trenches. Titan Speakerman was literally a cripple, and TV men acted shady as hell and prioritized gathering samples, not saving their allies even. So what could gravely injured Titan Cameraman do in such situation? He would have to try and pull himself together piece by piece all alone. And that's why it would take such insane amount of number we haven't seen him on screen. Titan Cameraman would have to survive in a dormant state, maybe even in some kind of emergency cryostasis. And this would give Boom the perfect excuse to reintroduce him later in some kind of endgame-style return, where he would suddenly emerge on a battlefield among his allies. But even though it would be really effective, maybe Boom would consider such an outcome way too easy for his series. Because he surely loves dramatic twists and all that. So maybe there could be another possibility, and it's that barely conscious Titan Cameraman could have gotten under control by another faction, or maybe even got imprisoned by it. Similarly to Titan TV Man's situation. It is already a widely popular theory that ISOTOILETs could capture two Titans in a row. First the cameraman, and now the TV man too. But they were hiding it as an additional trick up their sleeves. And if this theory would actually turn out to be true, then the Alliance is really cooked even with the Speakerman's armada getting crazy upgrades along the way. Because two possessed Titans are not only some insane boost in ISOTOILET's power, but that would lead to some crazy, dismorale as well. Because if Titan is being used for their experiments, maybe even reprogrammed or brainwashed, then his return could make one of the most dramatic twists in the entire series. Like, just imagine the Alliance facing off against him without knowing if he's friend or foe anymore. And then mid-battle, we could see some sort of spark of memory in a form of a vision of his comrades that would bring his true self back to us. But just for a split second. That would be pretty damn tragic, but still iconic in my opinion. So yeah, the Alliance's agents would be really devastated while seeing not one, but two Titans being in the control of their bitter rivals, and I'm sure that Titan Speakerman would be heavily affected as well, which would be insanely counterproductive given how his battle performance is supposed to be the main advantage in the fights against ISOTOILETs. And no number of improved agents or even other mini-Titans could save the Alliance in case Titan Speakerman would really get weak or disoriented by seeing his Titan friends enslaved by Astro freaks. So yeah, this possibility is really dark. But you know what? Why the hell not? The happy endings are not everything that is supposed to happen all the time, especially in such a dark and twisted series as Skibidi Toilet. Well, I mean, it really started as goofy and positive, but now everything has changed with its latest episodes, where the accent on drama and mystery is much more heavy than it used to be before. So, yeah, I really think this possibility has even more chances to come true eventually, and you know what? If it is something that would take Titan Cameraman to actually get back on our screens, then I'll take it. Even though it would be really rough to see such a plot twist too. But let's not end this video on the way too dark of a note, you know. Because there is actually one more possibility. And even though it's small, it still has a right to exist in my opinion. Because it is also possible that Titan Cameraman never truly disappeared at all. But instead, he might have just covered up for some time without taking part in neither the Alliance's or ISOTOILET's actions. Why? Maybe something motivated him to act independent since his supposed disappearance in episode 74, or maybe he met someone behind the scenes who would suggest him to do just that. What if he decided not switch sides, but help the Alliance from the different perspective? Or, well, it might actually sound crazy to you guys. But don't beat me up, because I am just suggesting things. Like, what if Titan Cameraman could actually lose his memory and get literally reborn as a completely new character? Yeah, I know. This amnesia trope is so overused both in games and movies that it makes us all sick already, but just imagine. What if one day he shows up with a completely new identity and design? I mean, that would be better than an option of being literally enslaved by ISOTOILETs and made their mindless servant just as Titan TV Man. You can actually choose for yourselves what kind of outcome you'd prefer more. But one thing is more than clear to me here. While the official story has been quiet about him, Titan Cameraman's return still feels inevitable at this point. And one day it has to happen. And the only question would be, when? There are just too many threads and too many visual hints scattered throughout the post-74 episodes for Boom to ignore this character forever. Whether he comes back as a savior, an Astro's slave, or a mysterious new character, one thing is more than likely, and it's that his return will be the biggest event in the upcoming Skibidi Toilet episodes. So Boom, if you're watching this, you already know what the fans are dying for. At least me. It's time to bring the Blue Lens legend back, so please don't keep us in the dark any longer. And please drop episode 79 already before we all would go crazy. Okay, and this was all I had for you guys today. Write in the comments what you think about what I told you, and be sure to also subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos to keep yourselves updated while waiting for episode 79 to get released. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!